Hello, this is Jcamera here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars Episode 5 The Empire Strikes Back set, the A-Wing Fighter, set number 7134, released in the year 2000. I think this was like $20 or $30 in retail in the US currency back when it was released. Nowadays, it can cost from $50 to $100. This is one of the cheaper ones to get. Now, usually I show you the instructions, but I do not have them with me. Of course, when I make these videos, I always make sure to get the instructions and make sure all the pieces are correct and not damaged in any way. Some of my reviews you'll see that, but just so anyone is like, oh my god, you got this wrong or something, that's why. Of course, I just look up the instructions online temporarily, but it is a lot harder and more inconvenient for me to use personally, because sometimes the bricks can be harder to tell, and I don't know, maybe it's just a force of habit thing. But regardless, we shall take a look at the minifigures. First up, we have the Rebel Mechanic or Rebel Engineer. It comes with a wrench as an accessory, which is rare that Star Wars characters from this era had accessories aside from a lightsaber or blaster. Even end blasters aren't that terribly common, at least from my collecting experience so far. This is actually slightly different from the Rebel pilot that came in the X-Wing set in the previous year, 1999. They have exactly the same torso, down to the fact that neither of them have any back printing. Exactly the same legs, arms, hands, hats. The difference is in their heads. One of them has a very thick, brewery mustache, and a little bit of a shaved beard, and a little bit of a nasty haircut, if my camera can show you. While this other one just has a much smaller mustache with no beard or hair. A very nice way to distinguish the rebels from themselves and keep the figures more valuable and more of a reason to collect different sets. It makes it feel like the throwaway characters aren't just the same character and again. I think including that version from the X-Wing, there's going to be one other Star Wars set these Rebel mechanics appear in. I think it's the B-Wing set. I forget if they appear in anything else. Let me know if they do appear in anything else, though, in the comments, if I'm wrong. The second figure in this set is a A-Wing pilot, which is, instead of orange like the regular Rebel pilots that fly X-Wings, Y-Wings, Snowspeeders, and so forth, we have a green uniform, which makes this figure stand out. He has no printing, but a different hip color. Instead of being green, it's black, which helps contrast. Taking off the helmet, he has only one expression. Until 2001, with Professor Quirrell and the Harry Potter theme, no minifigure had a secondary expression. I don't know. Did any figures come with back printing? I'm not sure. I know like Stormtroopers did, but it took a little while for them to appear in sets. He has a little like microphone on his face so he can communicate while piloting to other troops, which is really nice. He has really cool printing on the helmet, and this yellow visor that can come up and down. Basically a racer helmet, but I think it fits the figure, even if it's not accurate to the source material. I think he might also be in the B-Wing set, but I don't remember. I could be wrong. Maybe this figure's exclusive other than that? I'm not sure. Tell me in the comments if you know what sets he appears in. I'm not nearly as familiar with the Star Wars LEGO theme as I am with Harry Potter, Batman, and so forth. So now we get to the actual build itself, and it's not that impressive. I'll admit I don't really remember what it looks like in The Empire Strikes Back. Honestly, until I was researching the Lego sets that came out for the theme, I've never heard of the A-Wing, which might be blasphemous for me to say, but it's true. I didn't even remember it was in the Empire Strikes Back film. When I think of that film, I think of like the Hoth battle, Dagobah scenes, and like Cloud City. I remember the B-Wing only because it appeared like at the end of Empire. I don't remember seeing the A-Wing, but I think maybe this was in Return of the Jedi as well, but like in the big space battle of the second Death Star and all that, but yeah, maybe I'll check some other time. But anyway, I like that we got these green, like these trans neon green flame pieces, like it's flying. It looks ridiculous and very unrealistic even for Star Wars, but it looks nice. The reds look really cool as well with these engine pieces, and the cockpit looks nice. Yeah, this build, even for the year 2000, it's not bad. It's fine. It's not one of my favorite stats. It's probably one of the lesser ones. It is easy to get, but I'll get to the verdict later. You can lift this up here to reveal this piece here. A little compartment that stores, if I can open this up, some binoculars for either the Rebel mechanic or A-Wing pilot. And it just fits along nicely in here. You can open this up and you can see this little panel piece here. And then you can just have this seat nice and comfy for the Rebel pilot. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention with this figure, the printing on this figure's head is a little bit off, which is very common though. But thankfully, the yellow visor covers it up. And we got these little, like, guns here that you can rotate all around if you really want to. Well, it can go lower, but it depends on how you're, like, standing it up and all that. Underneath, it's just holding it together, which is pretty cool. Not really much to talk about. I'll admit the color scheme's kind of bad with the grays and reds, not that appealing to look at. Yeah, I don't have much to say. So, there it is. My review on 7134 A-Wing Fighter. I'll admit, I think the price, I'm glad it is one of the cheaper ones. You can get this like $50 to $100. That's what I got it for. The instructions are a bit of a pain to find, but the same can be said for most older Lego sets. Honestly, unless you can get this set at a good price, I wouldn't really recommend it. Like, if you can get it for a good price, it's nice, but if you get it for like over $100, I wouldn't say it's worth it. I think it has to be like one of the cheaper sets. I'll admit, I do have a soft spot for it because it's the first Empire Strikes Back set I've got from the theme. So now I can officially say I've got minimum of one set from all three films from the original trilogy. I got, as of making this video, two from the original, A New Hope, with the Land Speeder and X-Wing sets. Empire Strikes Back with only one here. And then I have three for Return of the Jedi. I have speeder bikes and both Final Duel sets. Yes, I finally got the other one, which is going to be my next review. Stay tuned for that. And then Phantom Menace, I have three sets, but that's part of the prequels. If anyone is wondering, I have Lightsaber Duel, Droid Fighter, and what's it called? It was my previous video. Flash Speeder? Yeah. But anyway, there you have it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next review.